With all the different people and things that fit into the category of strange and unusual, women are not exempt in any way. There are some very unusual women in this world, and each of them is different in their own way. Maybe they have an unusual genetic mutation, or maybe they're unfortunate cards that have been handed to them in life, and the way they handle it can just be truly unusual and inspiring to some. No matter how they fit in, they are all unique in their own ways. Today we will look at some of these individuals on our list of the top 10 unbelievable women with amazing features you won't believe actually exist. Before we continue, don't forget to hit that like button, as well subscribe to our channel and turn on post notifications. Let's begin. Real life Rapunzel. When Malgorzata Kulczyk wants to relax, she loves to let her hair down and down, all 5 feet 2 inches of it. In fact, the real life Rapunzel's locks are longer than she is tall, and she claims people can't believe her exceptional mane is genuine. Malgorzata, who lives in London, started to braid her hair at 7 and last had a haircut more than 5 years ago. A natural blonde her hair has taken on a red tinge thanks to a homemade serum, concocted from a mixture of oils, which she applies half an hour before showering. Malgorzata, who studies computing in London, but is from Poland, began sharing pictures of her mane on Instagram in 2016. She said that to achieve such lengthy locks you have to be in it for the long game. Patience is the most important thing. She never planned to grow her hair to lofty lengths, but her sister and pals have said her hair was so well kept that there was no reason for a cut following her last few strands of hair being trimmed. You can follow the real life Disney princess on Instagram, where she has over 15,000 followers. Longest legs model. Being 6 feet 5 inches tall means Miyuki Sugiyama regularly stands out from the crowd. The 26-year-old's legs measure an incredible 134 centimeters, 52.8 inches, making up more than 2/3 of her height. Miyuki grew up in Japan before moving to Ohio, US, and endured being called names due to her height. She said, "I got bullied a lot in high school because they called me chopsticks and giraffe. Yeah, I hated that a lot. But it's like people were just scared of my height, I think." Dating such a tall person was also difficult for Miyuki, who struggled to find guys who were the same height or taller than her. However, last year Miyuki met Trevor, who is 6 feet 3 inches tall, and the pair got married in June 2020. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the couple did not get to have the wedding of their dreams and instead plan on having a big wedding with their families next year. Miyuki used to be shy about her height, but has found her confidence and wants to encourage other tall girls. She said, "I just want to give them more confidence. Just don't care about what people think about. Just be yourself and look at the sky." Shopping for clothes to accommodate her height is no easy feat, and Miyuki regularly has to make her own alterations to trousers and skirts for them to fit properly. Ella London. We probably all have a favorite color, but one woman loves hers so much, she dresses in it head to toe, and only buys items in the same shade. Real life Little Miss Sunshine Ella London, who is from Coventry, but lives in Los Angeles, loves yellow color. Her nickname is Miss Sunshine, is so obsessed with the color that everything from her lipstick and eyeshadow to her underwear is all yellow. Not only that, the furniture in her house is the same golden shade, and she even had a yellow themed wedding. But Ella's obsession has a poignant meaning, as it was the favorite color of her late dad Terry Weaver, who passed away from cancer when she just 2 months old. Ella has been wearing yellow exclusively since 2012, after the collection of clothing she had been building up since 2008 became big enough. She has thousands of items in her favorite color. After dating since 2005, Ella and her fiancé Dean Shepard were gearing up for their impending marriage in 2008, but couldn't decide on a wedding color. Ella documents her yellow life through Instagram and has gained followers from across the world. Woman with largest afro. This young lady, Simone Williams from New York, recently broke the Guinness record for world's largest natural afro, with her impressive 4 feet 10 inches, 1.48 meter hairdo. Simone started growing her hair naturally 9 years ago, as a way to save money on hair salon visits, but never imagined that she would one day break the record for the world's largest female afro. She had been wearing her hair straight until then, and admits that the transition was pretty tough at first, as she didn't know how to properly manage her natural hair texture. She eventually got used to it though, and actually started comments and compliments on her voluminous natural afro. Simone said, "I chose to transition to natural hair around the age of 23. It began because I wanted to save the money spent at the hair salon to help with the costs of moving into my first apartment. The Brooklyn-based record says that a larger-than-life afro is a way to celebrate her ancestry and represents a symbol of freedom and liberation. Sure, she can't really wear hats anymore and has to watch out for low-hanging tree branches, but she wears her impressive natural hairdo with pride. Amy Brooks. Amy Brooks from Pittsburgh, USA, was born with congenital tetraphocamelia, a birth defect that affects all 4 limbs. Amy's biological mother feared that she was going to miscarry her, so was prescribed a concoction of medication to prevent that from happening. She was then abandoned by her biological parents shortly after birth. They even went as far as to ask hospital staff to put her in a room and not feed her. Luckily, she was almost immediately adopted by the loving Brooks family. Though nothing comes easy to Amy, throughout the years she has become more and more independent and is now even learning to drive. Amy runs her own YouTube channel. All her videos are self-produced, as she is able to set up the video equipment with no help. Though Amy does get some mean comments on social media platforms, most of the feedback she receives is positive. Since writing the first part of her autobiography in 2014, Amy has been doing motivational speaking. She enjoys sewing handbags, which she sells online through Facebook. Her parents have always pushed her to be independent, but never thought she would take it this far. Maryam Al-Balashi. More than a dozen cats and dogs vie for Maryam Al-Balashi's attention as she hands out treats on a bed in her home in Oman's capital Muscat. Despite complaints from neighbors and mounting expense, she has accumulated 480 cats and 12 dogs, describing her pets as a mood lifter and better companions than her fellow humans. The 51-year-old retired civil servant might seem like a lifelong animal lover, but the truth is she hasn't always been fond of them. It all started in 2008, when her son brought home a small Persian cat as a pet, which Al-Balashi wasn't at all thrilled about, especially since her son didn't really take care of it. Orphaned at a young age, Balashi has grown her menagerie over the past decade, identifying with her furry friends, many of which were rescued from hard lives on the street. Her home is now full of cages, with Balashi letting them out to exercise and play in rotation. She says her impressive collection of cats and dogs has helped her stave off depression, as well as earning her an impressive following on Instagram. Melody Perdue. A near-fatal car crash encouraged a woman to lose 183 pounds after she was left feeling horrified by the MRI scan images. Melody Perdue has struggled with weight most of her life and would often find herself yo-yo dieting. Melody from Massachusetts was involved in a near-fatal car accident in 2012 where she lost consciousness and woke up in hospital, shocked to discover she weighed 283 pounds. Melody was what she describes as a blessing in disguise, as it encouraged her to confront her unhealthy eating habits. Before the accident, Melody believed she had a normal relationship with food, but on reflection, admits she was a secret eater, which wasn't easy on Melody, both physically and mentally. She has been left with loose skin from her weight loss, which she plans to have removed, but for now describes it as liberating. Melody's transformation has improved her family life too, especially when it comes to parenting her son Alex with her husband Patrick. Kyrie Green. Up until the age of 22, Kyrie Green from Leicester, UK, had flawless skin. In October last year, she started getting breakouts, and in March this year Kyrie started experiencing painful acne. Kyrie said, "It was literally ridiculous. I'd never thought it would get to where it was. It was just so painful. I couldn't sleep on both sides of my face. I had to sleep on my back." In August, Kyrie went to her doctors and was promptly referred to a dermatologist, but was left feeling like her acne was the worst in the world. COVID-19 lockdown restrictions came into force in the UK as Kyrie's acne got worse, and so she decided to document it on Instagram because she wanted to be authentic online. She has amassed more than 16,000 followers and shares acne-positive posts. Kyrie feels comfortable to show her acne and wants to normalize it both online and off. She said, "It's okay to feel unconfident because of acne, because you've been taught your whole life that acne is ugly. But acne is not ugly. Acne is normal." With this positive attitude, Kyrie is ready to show her bare face to her friend Emma for the first time. Dani Lamoureux. Dani Lamoral is a young woman who can be called extraordinary. Without arms, she uses her legs and feet for everything and created a YouTube channel to show people that it is possible to overcome difficulties. In addition, Dani also gives lectures at companies where she tells her story and proves that the most important thing is the way you react to situations imposed by life. The YouTuber, who lives in Portugal, is married and leads a completely normal life despite having lost both arms in childhood. With just over a few months, Dani Lamoral channel already has more than 447,000 followers. In one of them, she even tells how she lost her arms at the age of 4 in a tractor accident. She said, "After 11 days in a coma and 50 days in hospital, I left the hospital. And yes, I remember all of this very clearly. I even remember the feeling of the carton touching my hand. But I don't remember it as a trauma or something, because I was able to reframe this story." It is impossible not to be inspired by the story of YouTuber that replaced arms with legs. Milopova Rosnyak. Milopova Rosnyak, a young girl from the Ukrainian city of Vinnytsia, has shunned jeans and all other modern clothing for the long dresses and intricate ensembles of the 19th century. Nowadays fashion trends change faster than ever before, but instead of trying to keep up, Milopova Rosnyak decided to go back to a time that will never go out of fashion, the style of the late 19th century. For the past few years she has replaced her fairly mundane wardrobe with vintage attires, including long dresses, corsets, all sorts of elegant hats and footwear from the late Victorian era. Even though getting dressed every morning is much more of a hassle than it used to be, Miller says it's worth it, as the vintage style makes her feel much more comfortable. Miller has always been fascinated by vintage fashion, and 12 years ago she got into a historical reconstruction club whose members were passionate about medieval knightly combat. Miller finds a lot of blouses and shoes in second-hand shops, and she sews the rest of the clothes herself, taking inspiration from old books. As for the accessories, she finds vintage items in personal collections of like-minded enthusiasts, and buys them from flea markets. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to always be in the top 10 videos world.